Hurricane Erin has now become the most closely watched storm of 2025, exploding into a monstrous category for hurricane after briefly reaching Category 5 intensity in the Caribbean. And as it churns northwestward at roughly 14 miles per hour, the system has already brought lashing rain, destructive winds, pounding waves across the Leeward Islands, leaving communities flooded, trees uprooted, and power lines snapped. While forecasters warn that this is just the beginning of what could be a long and devastating journey for Erin, because the National Hurricane Center expects the storm to continue strengthening and maintain its violent energy thanks to unusually warm ocean waters that are acting as fuel, giving it the potential to rival some of the most infamous hurricanes in recent memory. The current forecast track suggests that by late Monday into Tuesday, Erin will begin curving northward, sparing parts of the Caribbean from a direct hit but placing the Bahamas, Bermuda, and the entire U.S. East Coast under serious threat, with meteorologists stressing that even if the eye of the storm does not make direct landfall, the sheer size of Erin means dangerous storm surges, massive waves, and widespread coastal flooding are nearly unavoidable, stretching from Florida all the way up to New England, while officials warn that just a small westward wobble in its path could spell catastrophe for densely populated cities like Miami, Charleston, or even New York, all of which have painful memories of past hurricanes that brought billions of dollars in damage and countless lives lost. Already, comparisons are being made to historic storms such as Hurricane Sandy in 2012, which took an unexpected turn and slammed into the Northeast, paralyzing New York City and flooding subways, or Hurricane Andrew in 1992, which leveled entire neighborhoods in South Florida. And the troubling reality is that with sea surface temperatures breaking records this year, the potential for Erin to sustain its intensity longer than expected is higher than ever, making this storm not just a threat for a few days, but a prolonged crisis that could unfold over a week or more, straining emergency resources across multiple states and forcing millions of people to prepare for the worst. Authorities in coastal states are already urging residents to stock up on food, water, and fuel, while evacuation plans are being dusted off in case the forecast cone shifts closer to land. And airlines, shipping companies, and energy firms are bracing for massive disruptions as ports may shut down. Flights could be canceled by the thousands. And offshore oil platforms in the Gulf are being carefully monitored for impact, showing how one storm can ripple through the economy far beyond the immediate damage zone. For scientists, Erin is also a sobering example of how climate change is amplifying the risks of tropical cyclones, with warmer waters feeding storms into stronger monsters and higher sea levels making coastal flooding even more destructive, meaning that what might have been a close call decades ago now carries far deadlier consequences. And as news outlets cover Erin's every move, people are glued to their screens, anxiously checking updates from the National Hurricane Center, watching forecast models shift back and forth, and remembering that it only takes one unexpected jog in the track to change everything. Because hurricanes are notoriously unpredictable, no matter how advanced technology has become. And history is full of examples where storms spared one region but devastated another just hours later. Right now, forecasters are particularly concerned about the sheer size of Erin's wind field, which means tropical storm force winds extend hundreds of miles from the center, ensuring that even areas outside the projected path will feel dangerous conditions while coastal communities face the added danger of storm surges that can push walls of water far inland, a leading cause of hurricane deaths. And with high tide cycles aligning with Erin's approach, the risk of catastrophic flooding grows. Even greater, especially for low-lying regions like South Florida, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and parts of New Jersey that remain vulnerable after years of erosion and underinvestment in sea defenses. As we look at potential scenarios, one outcome has Erin staying offshore, curving north, and then northeast, brushing the coast but mainly delivering heavy surf and flooding. While another more dangerous scenario has the storm bending slightly westward, putting cities like Miami, Savannah, or even Washington, D.C. directly in the crosshairs, and emergency managers are treating that possibility with utmost seriousness because time to prepare is running out quickly. With supplies already flying off store shelves in many coastal towns, and residents debating whether to hunker down or leave, a decision made harder by the uncertainty of Erin's exact path. In Bermuda, officials have already activated their highest level of preparedness, as the island nation lies almost directly in the cone of uncertainty. And given how previous storms have cut off power and supplies there for weeks, the sense of urgency is palpable. While in the Bahamas, memories of Hurricane Dorian in 2019 remain painfully fresh, when entire communities were flattened and thousands were displaced, a stark warning of what can happen if Erin veers even slightly closer. Beyond the immediate human impact, Erin also threatens massive economic costs, with insurance companies bracing for billions in potential claims. Tourism across the Caribbean grinding to a halt during peak travel season, and U.S. markets nervously eyeing disruptions to shipping routes and energy production, all of which could ripple into higher prices for consumers. While political leaders face pressure to respond quickly and effectively, knowing that slow or inadequate responses to hurricanes have ended careers and eroded public trust in the past, for ordinary people, though the focus is on survival as families board up homes, fuel generators, and decide whether to evacuate or stay, a process filled with anxiety and fear, especially for those who lived through past hurricanes and know how quickly conditions can go from calm to deadly. Meteorologists are also warning about Erin's potential to spawn tornadoes along its outer bands, a common but often overlooked danger that can bring sudden destruction even far from the storm epicenter. And when combined with flooding rains that could dump more than a foot of water in some areas, the risks multiply, turning highways into rivers, knocking out power grids, and leaving entire regions cut off. For now, all we can do is watch Erin's every move, but the message is clear. This is not a storm to take lightly. This is not just another seasonal hurricane. This is a potentially historic system that could reshape communities, economies, and lives. And whether you are in Florida, the Carolinas, New England, or the Caribbean, the time to prepare is now. Because once Erin gets closer, it may be too late to act, and is countless. Survivors of past storms will tell you hurricanes can be unforgiving, leaving scars that last for decades, which is why staying informed, staying cautious, and staying ready are the only ways to face Hurricane Erin. As it bears down with relentless power and uncertain intent, a reminder that nature, no matter how much we advance, still holds the ultimate force over our lives.